I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
Oh, man. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. We got some interesting bombshell stuff related to gaming and Jeffrey Epstein today. But first and foremost, a couple shameless plugs. Make sure you subscribe to Review Tech USA. I upload content here on pretty much a daily basis, and I stream on a fairly regular basis as well. I'll be back to streaming this Wednesday. I'll have a scheduled stream, so if you want to check back, you'll see me then. And two, I have an ASMR channel called Tech 25 ASMR. I'm going to be having plenty of new content up there this year, and I'm going to have some new content up within the next few days as well. So make sure you subscribe to Tech 25 ASMR and Review Tech USA. Leave a comment and a like too. It helps out in the algorithm as well. I'll have links to everything I mentioned below in the description and top pinned comment. So I have used Bill Gates and the Jeffrey Epstein interaction kind of as a meme on this channel because it's so insane, dark, and ridiculous that it just... I mean, this is where I got, well, he's dead, so...
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so...
That's when Bill Gates was getting interviewed and asked a bunch of pressing questions about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and detectives use this term when someone is obviously guilty and trying to hide someone and they're very nervous. It's called hanky. And Bill was very hanky.
Well, he's dead.
Well, Bill was trying to downplay his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He made it like it was just for philanthropy. All of these guys, whenever they were affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein, oh, he was a world-renowned child predator and everyone knew what was going on. And we all knew behind the scenes what he was really doing. Oh, but I had no idea, even though Bill started hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of crimes against children back in 2008. He knew. He started hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein in 2011. So it was well known at that point what Jeffrey Epstein was up to. It's just they all try to play ignorant with it, and they all try to make it like they were just, oh, I just wanted to fly out to his island to go play chess with him and talk about math. Stop it. Stop insulting our intelligence. So there is some dark and sinister elements to this as well. I know the whole Xbox thing is funny. We're going to get into that too. But after Bill Gates wanted to sever ties from Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey was looking to blackmail Bill Gates. After Bill and Jeffrey had their fallout, Jeffrey Epstein sent emails they were draft emails that he wrote up, pretending to be Bill Gates' former science advisor, Boris Nikolic, and he was gonna blackmail Bill, and he knew some dirt on him that I'm sure Bill Gates did not want his wife to know. As a matter of fact, I am 300% positive he didn't want his wife to know, because what you're about to find out here is very damning. So what the hell were in these draft emails that Jeffrey Epstein wrote up? Take a look, man.
Among the newly released materials are draft emails attributed to Epstein that focus heavily on Bill Gates. The emails include unverified claims accusing Gates of attempting to conceal an alleged sexually transmitted disease.
Watch this. He actually, allegedly, but it's, come on. Everything that we say allegedly with actually comes true. Bill, after he caught this STD from some Russian girl that he hooked up with through Epstein, he was panicking because he was afraid he was going to give the STD to his wife. And all right, just watch. Why am I even here?
From his then wife, Melinda French Gates, following alleged encounters with women described as Russian girls. The drafts appear to have been written by Epstein posing as Gates's longtime science advisor, Boris Nikolic. In the drafts, Epstein alleges involvement in actions ranging from facilitating personal encounters to allegedly helping Gates obtain medication, claims that are not supported by independent evidence. One draft accuses Gates of requesting antibiotics be provided secretly and asks for deletion of emails referencing the alleged condition. Another warns that a public divorce could cause financial damage to philanthropic pledges. The documents also revisit earlier reports that Epstein threatened to expose Gates's alleged affair with a Russian bridge player in 2017, after Gates reportedly declined to participate in a charitable fund Epstein was promoting. These claims have circulated before, but are now resurfacing within the newly released records. A spokesperson for Bill Gates strongly rejected the allegations, calling them absolutely absurd and completely false.
Here is the thing, too, that isn't mentioned here. Beyond the fact that he was trying to be secretly prescribed medication, he wanted the medication to be in a form that if his wife was having a cup of coffee or something, he could slip the antibiotic in to make sure that she was taking the antibiotic. So whatever bacteria-based STD that Gates picked up from one of Epstein's Russian hookers or Russian girls, he could actually make sure his wife gets the antibiotic too, because he was afraid that she got it as well. So he was trying to find a form of it that he could like slip in her drink and she wouldn't know that she got an STD from Bill, because he was hooking up with Russian girls that he was linked up through Jeffrey Epstein with. Oh, these people are monsters. They're all monsters, and I hate them all. I can't stand them. This is insane. Now, in these released documents from the DOJ, one of the things that I laughed at first, but I thought, there's something a little bit more nefarious about this. Jeffrey Epstein got banned permanently from Xbox Live. Now, with everything else going on, it's just funny, right? Well, anyway, this comes from Forbes. I'll read it to you. But I think I'm speculating and I'm spitballing. I'm guessing I think I know why this happened. So what happened? I'm going to read the article here. While the public focus of today's mass release of more Epstein files has been on the likes of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, one of the more random extracted revelations was a notice sent from Microsoft to Epstein's account in 2013. No, it's not about Bill Gates, but I think it is. This is just me guessing and making something up here. Well, I'm not making it up, but again, speculation, take it with a grain of salt. Let's continue. It's an email that reveals that Jeffrey Epstein, or his account at least, was banned from Xbox Live in 2013. He's an avid gamer. Maybe. This is back in the Xbox 360, Xbox One era. What happened? Here's what the email said. And this is exactly what the notification is right here. It's the same thing up here. What happened? This email is to notify you that your Xbox Live account privileges have been permanently suspended due to harassment, threats, and or abuse of other players. This conduct has been determined to be severe, repeated, and or excessive. Now, who knows? Maybe this is at face value, and Jeffrey Epstein played a bunch of Call of Duty, and he was threatening people that he lost to. It could be that. Okay, well, here's what else the email says. This is the reasons. It's kind of a blanket reason if you get permanently banned for this. Why we enforced. The conduct that caused the suspension may include, but is not limited to, threats of death, harm, property damage, or any other act of violence or vandalism, which I could totally picture Jeffrey Epstein doing, verbal abuse or profanity directed at other players, griefing when you just go out of your way to make someone else's life in like Call of Duty in a match miserable by going around and circling around them and doing that stuff, extortion or manipulation. Well, that sounds right up his alley. Libel, defamation, or slander. Display or transmission of personally identifiable information such as name, address, phone number, or IP address. And stalking. It sounds like something... Jeffrey Epstein sounds like he would have been guilty of all of the above. Definitely outside of Xbox Live. But here's what I think with this letter. Okay, and this is me just... Again, I'm just speculating, spitballing. I bet you maybe Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, he was sending emails, and emails, if you don't play your cards right, could be tracked. Could be wrong, but maybe he was using it as a way to communicate with other people where it wouldn't be as obvious. I've known that there's a lot of times I've heard stories before that criminals actually use like Xbox Live or PSN or whatever to have conversations about things because at least previously wasn't as easily tracked. So this is back in 2013. That could very well be the case. And it could also be that Bill Gates was just like, oh yeah, you want to blackmail me? You can't play Call of Duty.
Well, he's dead, so
It could be that simple too. But I'm thinking what I said previously, there's a pretty decent chance that they wanted to block some communications that he was having. And I think Bill may have been involved in that too, because maybe Jeffrey Epstein through Epstein Live, I mean Xbox Live, I didn't mean Xbox Live, maybe he was talking crap about Bill, or maybe Bill didn't want people at Microsoft and Xbox to hear what Jeffrey Epstein was talking about. I don't know. Again, I'm sure there's holes into this theory that I have, but would it be that unbelievable either with everything else going on? Come on. Of course it isn't. Now, here is the thing that kind of ties into all of this. So Bill cuts ties with Jeffrey Epstein back then. Jeffrey Epstein is writing these emails to himself as Bill's former science advisor, blackmailing him and being like, hey, I'm going to let everyone know you got a STD from a Russian call girl that I hooked you up with. So if you look here, Bill Gates was oh so generous and gave a $2 million gift to MIT. Well, it seems that Bill essentially gave blackmail money through the university MIT to Jeffrey Epstein. So it was wrapped up to seem like he was just giving money to a university for research, but it was really an indirect way to give money to Jeffrey Epstein to shut him up. But on the surface, it seemed like he was just giving money, Bill that is, to MIT. This comes from Business Insider. In late September 2014, Jeffrey Epstein typed a one-line email to former MIT Media Lab Director Joi Ito saying that Bill Gates wanted a write-up on our science program. Less than a month later, Gates informed Ito that he would be making a $2 million donation to the Media Lab. The gift was registered October 17th and was followed up with an official letter from Gates's personal office on November 7th. The money arrived, even though, as MIT money raiser Peter Cohen put it, we did not solicit this money, and Joi did not talk with Bill Gates. It was a bribe. He just didn't want to give the money directly. Bill Gates wanted to seem like it was a charitable donation, but at the same time, he could pay off Jeffrey Epstein to not let everyone know he has warts on his manhood.
well, he's dead, so
Continuing here, Gates asked that his donation remain anonymous and place no restrictions on its use. There wasn't even a gift agreement, which almost always happens when a multi-million-dollar gift arrives. The money came through BGC3, now Gates Ventures, and not from the Gates Foundation, which is also another red flag. And Gates Foundation gave away more than $4 billion in grants in 2014. Why didn't they just go through the Gates Foundation and they went through Gates Ventures? Because they didn't want it on the books for the Gates Foundation. The foundation spent more than $280 million that year alone on the wages and benefits of professionals dedicated to giving away money in the most effective way possible. But the only money the foundation ever recommended go to the Media Lab was a single restricted grant to the Center for Civic Media, which is a collaborative enterprise with MIT's Comparative Media Studies Department. So why was this different? Why was this donation not through the Gates Foundation, even though all of the other ones were? This was through Gates Ventures, and they are usually very restricted. Here's where it gets interesting here. As far as MIT was concerned, the Gates grant was Epstein money, and Epstein would help determine where and how it was spent according to MIT sources. There you go. It was an indirect bribe, and it could make Gates look like he was just being philanthropic, the philanthropic, selfless man that he is, that totally didn't go to Epstein Island, even though it's almost guaranteed he did. He was definitely on the plane. And it could be like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein just wanted to get a donation to MIT, and thank you, Bill Gates, for doing that. That's what it's about. It was just a bribe. Listen, I don't care if it's Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Jay-Z, you name it. I want all of these people held accountable because they have been monsters for decades upon decades, and they need to be punished for what they've done. for what they've done to these poor girls, for how they are essentially controlling our lives from top to bottom. And this was all happening behind the scenes. This was all, it was like we were being laughed at the entire time. They're controlling and taking over our lives, doing these terrible things, and they just think because of their power and wealth, they could get away from it. Don't let them get away from it. Yeah, this is funny that Jeffrey Epstein, out of all things, got banned from Xbox Live, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm sure we're going to find out more horrific things about all the people here I just mentioned, and this is just the beginning. And you know what? For everyone thinking, including Trump's DOJ, all right, we're releasing everything we're going to release. Nothing else to see here, even if you demand it. If you think people are just going to start sleeping on this, no way. Buckle up, man. Things are about to get real crazy. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.